Hi everybody, this video is sponsored by a contribution from Rainbow, and here's her story. Hi Ollie, the takedown of me, Enormous and Drunky the Four just put me over the edge with utter glee, and I had to donate. Bravo. Well, thank you. I have a narc older sister and two of my other siblings, one older brother and one younger sister, are her flying monkeys. If it hadn't been for your videos, I'd still be gaslighting myself into thinking the narc sister was the one I needed to go no contact with. It was such a wake-up call when I sat in my living room a few months back with my allegedly devoted younger sister, listening to her tell me that although she knows our sister did purely evil, her words, shit to me, she couldn't break ties with Narcissist because she had never really done anything to her. Oh, fuck if I heard that one. Well, he never really did anything to me. Oh, I know what he did to you. He didn't do it to me. Fuck you. Run. Run. You hear they never did anything to me? Run. Isn't that special? It never occurred to her that our sister busting up the family with the narcissistic abuse of me affected us all. They're fine with the abuse, just as long as it isn't them being abused. Sounds like Precious. All I knew at that moment was that if any one of my siblings had been treated as I was, I'd have put an end to that shit in a heartbeat and voted Noxzilla off the island. Instead, their complacency and enabling cosigns are bullshit. I had no choice but to go no contact, despite pleas from the Flying Monkey siblings to just let it go and find a way to get along. They are so clueless. They think it's a matter of not getting along. There is no getting along. There is no getting along. Let it go. Find a way. Let it go. Why don't you, if you all agree with me, why don't you all go confront her at once? Are you telling me she's that good she can shut you all down at once? Bullshit. You don't want to get involved as long as she's the one, the sister's the one taking the brunt of the abuse. Noxilla's grand finale. The reason I went no contact was because of a family reunion the four of us with our families participated in. It was just going to be the four of us with our spouses and kids because we had lost both our parents a couple of years prior. It was the first time since their deaths that we were attempting a get-together. Noxzilla has three daughters, one of whom I'm still close with, and two others. I had always been involved in their lives and loved them dearly. They were my babies. I was an auntie, long before I was a mom, and they were everything to me. I was a loving aunt to them, but what I didn't realize was my sister secretly hated me. There had been many narcissistic and shitty abuses over the years, and I was still gaslighting myself into thinking she and my other sister didn't mean to leave me out of things, and that they surely must love me. When you're left out, it's deliberate. It's deliberate. It's always deliberate. I figured out she had badmouthed me to her kids the second I started a new life with my current husband. He is successful, bought me a really nice ring, and gave me a beautiful stepson and son of our own together. Basically, everything her loser pedophile ex-husband never was. Our parents never really admired my husband, and that will never sit well with Noxzilla. Looking back, it's obvious she was insanely jealous, and that caused her to talk shit about me to the point where two of her daughters are convinced I'm the most selfish bitch who ever lived, despite not one incident where I had been anything but loving and involved. Early on, I thought they were moody teens. I didn't know they hated me. They continued to accept generous gifts and act as though they liked me. When the shit hit the fan later, I was blindsided. That made it extra delicious to my narc sister. Yep. They love to hit you with the blind side, man, because you don't know how to react. And they revel in it. We were all having a great weekend at Lake Tahoe, and it was my youngest son's 12th birthday. I was braiding my youngest sister's daughter's hair on the back porch. I am a hairdresser, and the little kids, Narcissista's grandbabies, were running around playing. things 88 things had been tense with my sisters due to some lies they had told me, and they were leaving me out of family events, but so far everything was pretty fun. I mentioned to Narcilla's daughter that the baby would get splinters on her feet from the redwood deck. My husband had just gotten one, so I wanted to let her know she could put shoes on the baby. She interrupted this as Aunt Rainbow said I'm a bad mother. So she interpreted this as Aunt Rainbow said I'm a bad mother. She called Narcilla at the casino and told her I said she was a bad mother. Narcilla raged at the waiter at the restaurant at which she was eating and raced back. She slammed doors and went to her cabin. No one knew what was going on. My husband decided to be the voice of reason and find out. Much to my horror, her rage had something to do with me, he informed me. I couldn't believe it. It had been years, but I was scapegoated again, and this time her own daughter was an accomplice. He tried to reason with her, but she was too psychotic. The flying monkeys looked at me as if to say, well, if she's this mad, you must have done something to piss her off. I hadn't. I had said nothing of the kind. I made things worse by trying to defend myself, and even with eyewitness to confirm what was actually said, my narc sister wouldn't back down. She wanted to hurt me. She wanted to take me out. She wanted to see how her daughters hated. She wanted me to see how her daughters hated me once and for all. It was very painful. I was so tired of her and her obvious smear campaign, confirmed by her other daughter, who totally loves me, that I decided to never see or speak to that nasty bitch again. I have never regretted that decision. What helped me was your videos. The sudden awareness that the other siblings were part of it because they did nothing. Story of my life. I had to take care of me. I am stronger now than ever. So fast forward to the flying monkey visit from the youngest sister that I mentioned before. The only bright side to the final visit from the enabling flying monkey sister was her telling me about being cast in a humiliating role in junior high as, get this, a flying monkey in The Wizard of Oz. I couldn't believe the inner chuckle. I had to laugh to myself when she told me this seemingly random story. I said, wow, so even though you auditioned for Dorothy, you were cast as a flying monkey? Then your videos came to mind about flying monkeys, and it was a gift from the universe. I laughed to myself and added, of course you were. I'm so sorry you didn't get Dorothy. That must have been disappointing. She was sharing to tell me how hard it was to live in my shadow. What? What shadow? That I was the one who always got the spotlight. The truth is, I was the only one with guts to get out of there and try. I took lots of supporting roles. I had a blast. But she wanted to blame me for feeling bad about herself 30 years later. I knew then I had to get rid of her too, and I have. Let me tell you what was going on there, what I said in an earlier video today. You're gone. You're out of the picture. The older narc sister needs somebody to turn her fucking attention on. This is a woman who is now being turned into a scapegoat. And you're all grandparents. And she's crying about not getting the role as Dorothy in a high school play? Poor you, bitch. That's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life. But what she was doing to you is the same thing that Precious tried to do to me after my parents attacked him in his house. Same thing. She was trying to guilt you in, draw you in. Okay? And I guess that went nowhere. But that's exactly what she was doing, because I'm telling you, this one's taking bullshit from the older one now. Another cool side note. For years I carried around extra weight. I've noticed that after I got rid of those top siblings, the weight started coming off. This was in January with the flying monkeys. I've lost 30 pounds since then. It seems I was literally carrying the weight and shame of my toxic family of origin. Shit, do I know what that's like. Go look at my earlier videos. Go look at the fucking blimp that was sitting there. God damn. Had I not had this community to turn to, your videos to help bolster my resolve, I might not have made it. I might have let them hoover me back in. I no longer have panic attacks. I fired my shitty therapist who had no idea that the key to healing was to call abuse abuse. That's where my real work started. I am ever appreciative to your contribution, sir. You are a badass warrior for the cause. You are courageous and truthful. Thank you so much. I wish I could contribute more. Rainbow. Your contribution was excellent, and nobody should ever be ashamed, whatever they contribute, because it all balances out eventually. It all balances out. But thank you again for it, and thank you for this. And I hope you realize what I'm saying here. You weren't going to win with that older sister. She was just waiting for something, and that's why how she trained her daughters to do that. And you know what? If her daughter is dumb enough to have a baby running around without shoes on a wood goddamn deck in a cabin in the woods, she's an idiot. She is a bad mother. That's stupidity. Are you a fucking moron? You're in cabins in the woods, and you got a kid who's learning to walk with no shoes on. You idiot! And you didn't call her a bad mother. You should have. She got all fucking butthurt because she knew it was stupid. She's probably like, oh yeah, look where I am. What a fucking idiot. Let's blame her. Let's blame Aunt Rainbow, and I know how to do it. Mommy's just waiting for the fucking call to come in like a goddamn lunatic. Your husband's problem is also, and I'm not blaming him, fuck the voice of reason. He should have been like, listen, you psycho fucking twat. I know what you're doing. I know why you do it. Because you're a jealous little fucking high school cheerleader. Go back in your cabin and don't say another fucking word to my wife unless it's a goddamn apology. You and your daughter. Of course, that probably would have raised World War III, but it was no different anyway. Hindsight's always 20/20. Your older sister is begging to be checked. Begging to be checked. I would wonder what would happen if somebody actually checked her the way she needed to be. I would guarantee you, and you may not agree with this, she would back right down because she wouldn't know how to fucking handle somebody actually standing up to her. You're better off without her. Obviously, you know that. You're better off without her little bastard kids who treat you like shit, even though the one's very good to you. Sure, she has some stories about dear old mom. And understand what your younger sister was doing. Fucking Precious would say the same shit. He didn't do it, I know, but he didn't do it to me. I don't have enough middle fingers for that response. It just shows what a feckless cowards they are. It ain't happening to me. Oh, now it is. Now I'm going to come to you and try to play the victim. Feel sorry for me. She didn't, but she was smart enough not to say her sister was turning on her or scapegoating her. She figured she would use guilt to try to reel you back in. I would love to know how deep that conversation went with her, or that thing went with her. If she was trying, I'm sure in her mind she was trying to reel it in. And if she didn't go for it, it's because she saw it was going to get shot down. But that conversation was to set you back up, reel you back in, to reset the dynamic of you being the piece of shit, and she could go back to, oh, it didn't happen to me. And you avoided that, so very, very good. So thank you again for your contribution. Thank you again for your story. It was excellent. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any comments or opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you have a story, some audio, or a narcissist you want to expose, and you want it on my channel, and even if you don't, you know what to do with the PayPal link in the description box. And even if you can't make a contribution, send me your story anyway. I'm sure I'll use it, and I will have the videos right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.